Hi, this is Don Nelson, editor of the Additive Report, and I'm also the host of the video series called The Additive Reporter. In today's segment, we're going to talk about getting into additive manufacturing, or as it's more commonly known, 3D printing. Our main focus will be on whether to outsource your 3D printing work or to buy a 3D printer and do the work in-house. We'll limit our talk about buying a 3D printer to printers for making plastic parts and save metal printers for another segment, because metal is much more complicated. The affordability of plastic printers is one reason more shops are testing the 3D printing waters. Shop-appropriate printers for prototyping and printing low-stress devices are available for $2,000 to $5,000. Models that print devices usable in some production applications start around $5,000. This type of unit will meet the needs of most shops getting into 3D printing. In an issue of the Additive Report, Metal Forming Expert compared owning a 3D printer to owning a hardware store in a box. And it's a hardware store that offers parts at a deep discount. Many printed devices can be made in hours for a couple of dollars, saving loads of time and money. Outsourcing your 3D printing work saves time and money too, though not quite as much. A shop in Minnesota outsourced the 3D printing of some gauges. It cut 65% off the time needed to machine the gauges and shaved 40% off the cost. Outsourcing is a great option too, because to get a part, you simply upload a CAD file of your part to a service bureau, choose the material and other parameters, and soon the finished part is shipped to you. There's no equipment to buy, operate, or maintain. And service bureaus often operate the latest equipment, and many are capable of 3D printing all available materials, including metal, in volumes ranging from one part to thousands. On the other hand, purchasing a low-cost plastic printer gives you greater freedom when tweaking the design of a prototype, for example, and gives you 24/7 access to your hardware store in a box. Formlab's product manager, Kathy Bui, said that deciding between outsourcing and in-housing depends on a number of factors.
In some instances, it makes sense to outsource if you're not familiar with designing or how to use CAD, computer-aided design, to make your own parts, or if you need, consulting help to refine your design, then outsourcing it will make sense. However, if you're familiar with design concepts and can make your own CAD files and things like that, and want to iterate quickly, bringing in 3D printing in-house would make a lot more sense, especially at the lower access point, such as a Formlabs machine that allows for such a wide range of applications. Bringing it in-house allows for a tighter feedback loop, and having people feel the part immediately as it comes out really speeds up your design workflow.
There is a middle ground between outsourcing and in-housing 3D printing, says Louis Sims, a marketing manager at Stratasys. He said that 3D printing newbies often order parts from Stratasys Direct Manufacturing, then, later on, when they're comfortable with the technology, purchase a machine for in-house use.
I think, first off, that looks a little different for every organization. I think that you're going to have to start off with a make versus buy analysis, right? Just because you can make it yourself or you do want to bring it in-house, should you, could you, or would you? Typically what we see is people start out on the services end. It's the lowest barrier to entry. You can come in, you can upload a part file, have something printed, and it arrives at your door anywhere from 2 to 5 days later. As your utilization grows, it becomes a lot more realistic to bring that equipment in-house. You're going to be able to produce things more cost effectively and efficiently and faster that way. Even after people do that, we still see a little bit of a relationship on the services side. They may outsource a process that they don't have in-house or don't typically use, like the additive metals or laser sintering, which aren't quite as office friendly. Or they may even utilize this for overflow of equipment and materials that they do have in-house. So perhaps your printers are full, or you don't have quite enough justification to bring in one more additive machine, so you'll outsource until you have that ability to do so.
Before bringing additive in-house, you'll have to ask yourself a lot of questions. Probably the most important one is, will you commit to making additive successful at your shop? The president and CTO of Chicago's Manufacturing Times Digital Institute, Federico Ciamarella, wrote in the spring 2019 issue of the Additive Report that shops adopting 3D printing have got to be willing to enter their discomfort zone. He wrote, "Adopting additive manufacturing will require you and your team to commit to using it long enough to accurately assess it. This could necessitate operating outside of your manufacturing comfort zone. Not everyone is willing to do this or devote the time necessary to optimize an AM process." To help you decide if you want to get into additive or not, Ultimaker's VP of Key Accounts, Greg Elfring, points out a few of 3D printing's strengths and weaknesses and how he expects the technology to become part of more shops' toolboxes.
Additive manufacturing is one of the tools in a manufacturer's toolbox. You know, it is an extremely powerful tool in the sense that it delivers mechanical parts quickly, and it has a place. Is it always the least expensive? No. Is it always the strongest or best? No. But is it frequently the fastest? Yes. And is it the most accessible to people in the shop of all different skill levels? Yes. And for that, those major reasons, it's going to become a more attractive part of a manufacturer's toolbox.
That wraps up this segment of the Additive Reporter. I'm Don Nelson. Thank you for tuning in. Please check out our other videos and social media, and I'll see you next time.